this video, we're going to talk about organizing your exam review materials effectively. Preparing for an exam can feel much harder when your materials are scattered. You may have notes in one notebook, homework in an online system, worksheets in your backpack, formulas in a textbook, videos in several course models, and quiz feedback in your email or course page. You may spend so much time searching for things that you have very little time left to study. Organizing your review materials can help with this. However, the goal is not to create a perfect notebook or a beautiful collection of color-coded pages. The goal is to create a system that helps you answer 3 questions. What do I need to know? Where can I find help or an example? And what do I need to practice next? A useful review system can be simple. Let's build one step at a time. The first step is to collect your materials. Look for things like the exam study guide, class notes, homework assignments, quizzes, any previous exams you might have taken for this course, worksheets, formula sheets, textbook sections, any instructor videos, online practice, and review activities. You may not have all of these. In fact, most classes do not. But this will give you a place to start for gathering this information. Do not begin by reorganizing every document for the entire semester. Focus on the material that applies to the upcoming exam. If the exam covers 3 chapters, collect material from those chapters first. You can organize the rest later. The second step is to remove unnecessary materials. More material is not always better. A huge pile of papers can make studying seem overwhelming. Ask yourself whether each item will help you understand a concept, review an example, practice a skill, check an answer, or remember an important instruction. If a page is duplicated, unrelated to the exam, or no longer useful, set it aside. You do not need to necessarily throw it away. It simply does not need to be part of your active review materials. The third step is to organize your materials by topic. Many students keep everything in the order it was assigned. That can be useful during the semester, but it's not always the best structure for exam preparation. For an exam, organizing by skill can be much more helpful. For example, create sections such as solving equations, graphing, systems of equations, exponents, word problems, geometry formulas, statistics. Inside each section, include the most useful notes, examples, assignments, and practice problems for that topic. This allows you to focus on one skill at a time. Suppose you want to review graphing linear equations. Instead of searching through several weeks of notes and homework, you can go directly to the graphing section. That saves time and makes your studying more focused. You can create this system with paper or digital materials. For paper materials, you might use a folder with labeled sections, binder dividers, paper clips, sticky notes, envelopes, or a review packet that makes sense to you. There's no set way to do this. The idea is to do what works best for you. Maybe you don't want to go to the store, but you know you have a bunch of envelopes, so maybe that makes the most sense. You don't necessarily need a lot of supplies. For digital materials, you might use different folders on your computer, bookmarks on your web browser, a single document with links, clearly named files, or a digital notebook. Use the simplest method that works for you. You do not need to buy new supplies or create a complicated filing system. Next, create a topic checklist. Your topic checklist should list the specific skills that may appear on the exam. For example, solve one-step equations, solve equations with distribution, solve equations with variables on both sides, graph a line using slope and intercept, find slope from 2 points, interpret slope in a word problem. As you review, place a mark beside each topic. You can use categories such as confident, needs practice, needs help, or use symbols. Place a check mark for confident, a question mark for needs practice, and a star for needs help. Keep this checklist at the front of your review folder or your document. It gives you a quick picture of your progress. It also helps prevent random studying. Without a checklist, students sometimes spend most of their time reviewing the first topic or the easiest topic. A checklist reminds you to cover the full range of material and focus on areas that need attention. Now, separate your reference materials from your practice materials. Reference materials are things that you look at when you need information. These might include notes, formulas, vocabulary, worked examples, step-by-step instructions, or diagrams. These are really useful if you need extra review on a particular topic, but it's not helpful for practicing information. Practice materials are things you use to test yourself. These might include blank problems, old quiz questions, homework problems, practice exams, flashcards, or problems with solutions covered. Keeping these separate is helpful because reviewing and practicing are different activities. You may begin by looking at a reference example, but then you should move to practice and try a problem independently. If the solution is always visible, it can be difficult to tell whether you truly know the process. One simple method is to place reference materials on one side of your folder and practice problems on the other. In a digital system, you could create 2 folders or 2 files, examples and notes, practice problems. Our next step is to create a question list. As you study, you will probably find places where you are confused. Do not stop your entire study session every time this happens. Write the question down. Your list might include, when do I use the distributive property? How do I know which number is the slope? Why does subtracting a negative become addition? When should I use area instead of perimeter? How do I check a solution to an equation? A question list helps you prepare for tutoring, office hours, class, or an email to your instructor. Instead of arriving and saying, I do not understand the chapter, you can bring 2 or 3 specific questions. That makes your help session more focused and useful. You should also create an error log. An error log is a list of mistakes you have made or reminders you want to review before the exam. For example, I forget to distribute negative signs. I sometimes copy numbers incorrectly. I need to check whether fractions are simplified. I confuse the formulas for area and perimeter. I need to label units. Sometimes I answer only part of a word problem. Your error log does not need to include every mistake you have ever made. Focus on patterns. If the same issue appears several times, it belongs on the list. Review your error log before taking a practice exam and again before the real exam. It can remind you to slow down and check specific parts of your work. Now we have a question list and an error log. Another useful tool is a one-page summary. It is not necessarily a cheat sheet to use during the exam. It is a study tool you create beforehand. A one-page summary might include major formulas, important vocabulary, common problem types, key steps, diagrams, mistakes to avoid, questions to remember. Keep it brief. The process of deciding what belongs on the page can help you identify the most important areas. However, be careful. Creating a summary sheet can be a form of passive studying. You may spend hours making it neat, colorful, and detailed without practicing any problem. So, set a time limit. For example, spend 20 or 30 minutes creating the summary and then use it to solve problems. Your review materials do not need to look impressive. They need to help you learn. Let's look at a simple review folder structure. At the front, place your exam date, your study schedule, and your topic checklist. Next, create one section for each major topic. Inside each topic section include a short summary or formula, one clear example that you can refer back to, several blank practice problems, and any relevant quiz or homework corrections. At the back, include your question list, your error log, and a short mixed practice exam. This structure gives you everything you need in one place. You know what to study, where to find examples, what to practice, and what questions to ask. Now, let's talk about online courses. In an online course, materials may be spread across many modules and links. Create a simple digital exam review document. List each topic as a heading. Under each heading, add a link to the lesson or video, a link to the homework, a link to the quiz or feedback to the quiz, a few practice problems, a note about what you still need to review. This document becomes your exam preparation homepage. You do not have to search through every course module every time you sit down to study. Another option is to download or print the most important materials. This can reduce distractions and help you work without moving between many browser tabs. Choose the approach that helps you focus. Now, what should you do when you do not have much time to organize? Use a 3-pile system. Pile 1, know it. Pile 2, practice it. Pile 3, ask about it. Go through your materials quickly and place each topic or problem into one of those categories. Then begin with practice it. Bring the Ask About It materials to tutoring class or office hours. Use Know It for a brief check later. This simple system can be created in a few minutes. Remember that organizing is not the same as studying. Organizing helps you begin, but practice is what prepares you for the exam. Avoid spending your entire study session arranging pages, rewriting headlines, or decorating notes. Give yourself a short period to organize. Then choose a problem and begin working. A useful rule might be 10 minutes organizing, followed by at least 20 minutes practicing. Your action step is to create a simple exam review center. This could be a folder, binder section, stack of papers, or digital document. Include 5 things: a topic checklist, your most useful notes and examples, a set of blank practice problems, a question list, and an error log. Then choose one topic from the checklist and practice it without looking at the solution. Effective organization should make studying easier, not become another overwhelming project. Collect what you need. Remove what you do not need. Organize by topic. Separate examples from practice. Keep track of questions and common mistakes. Then begin solving problems. Your review system does not have to be perfect. It only needs to help you find the next useful step. A little organization can reduce stress, save time, and help you focus on the skills that matter most. You've got this.